Talk about a crusher. Yes! Oh!
Are you kidding me?
And gone!
Welcome back to the Schoolyard Sports podcast. I'm the host of this podcast, Lane Frank. We're now episode 125. Yes, we're 125 episodes through, and I got action-packed episode planned for you. We have Super Bowl winning head coach Andy Reid in-person interview coming up later on the episode. Obviously, the Los Angeles Lakers swept in the playoffs by the Denver Nuggets. Andy Reid was a Lakers fan who's been upset about that. MLB, we got a lot going on there. Soccer, Man City just won the Premier League, and so much more. Stay tuned for an action-packed episode 125. Let's hop into it. All right, let's start off episode 125, how we always do, with the headlines in the NBA. Los Angeles Lakers obviously swept by the Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic, the iconic photo on a t-shirt right here of Nikola Jokic. Video watchers, obviously you see that. Audio, go watch the video, see what the shirt looks like. But yeah, Western Conference champion, NBA MVP, two-time NBA MVP, Nikola Jokic looks not so athletic in that picture, but obviously one of the most amazing NBA players of all time, talent-wise, you could say, in this Western Conference Finals. Obviously, just display that. What an amazing performance by Nikola Jokic. What an amazing performance by the whole entire Denver Nuggets squad as a whole. Mike Malone, they deserve this. They've been the 1 seed before. They haven't won. They're this year, and they won it. So happy, so glad that Nuggets won it. Obviously, I would have been happy if the Lakers won it too, but Denver Nuggets just seems like their year, in my opinion. Obviously, for the Lakers side of things, LeBron, we're going to talk about that later. They have a lot of upcoming issues. Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Davis, a lot of pending issues going on with the Los Angeles Lakers. We'll talk about that later on in the episode. The Miami Heat, up 3-0 right now. The time is scoring on the Boston Celtics. I think they're going to lose tonight, but if they do win tonight, we have an NBA final step of Heat versus Nuggets. Really just a shock. You would have thought Lakers would have gone 3-0, and you would have thought that Celtics would have gone 3-0. Other way around this time. Kind of shocking, in my opinion. Heat up 3-0 on Boston Celtics in Miami. Carmelo Anthony announced his retirement this week. Carmelo Anthony, obviously a Hall of Famer, amazing player. We got a great Did You Know coming up later on this episode. Second to last member of that 2003 draft class. Obviously LeBron, number 1. May retire after this season, and Carmelo Anthony, number 2, 2003 draft with a legendary draft that has Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, LeBron, and then number 2, Darko Milicic, who we all thought was going to be amazing, and turned out to be maybe one of the biggest busts in NBA history, but Carmelo announced retirement this week. Let's move to MLB, an action-packed week. New York Mets going up against the league-leading Tampa Bay Rays, and the Mets were in a rough patch. They lose the first game. Justin Verlander first start to the field, just a disaster. Then the second game, they go down 2-0, tied up 2-2, go down 5-2. Francisco Alvi hits a 3-run homer to make it 5-5, and then Pete Alonso hits a 3-run homer, go-ahead 3-run homer to win the game for New York Mets in the bottom of the 10th. So ever since that moment, Mets have been on a winning streak, propelled themselves. I love it right here. Buck Showalter's birthday today. Happy birthday, Skipper Buck Showalter. They don't win those games. I don't know if Buck Showalter is the manager of the Mets right now, and he even said that himself. So New York Mets on a roll right now. Another team on a roll right now, Houston Astros. They were sitting at 18-19. Now they're at 28-19. So ever since they got Jose Altuve back, really been rolling. Glad to see that right there with the Houston Astros. Oakland Athletics, worst team in baseball, maybe ever. 10-36 right now, but playing for the Vegas ballpark, everything seems to be going in order. I was in Vegas this weekend. Looks like it's going to get done. Las Vegas Athletics, name to see in the future. Los Angeles Dodgers, also on a bit of a tear right now, even though they lost to the St. Louis Cardinals in that series. But still, Cardinals, good squad. Dodgers, James Outman playing great. Mookie Betts playing well. Obviously, great pitching. Kershaw got a little bit beat up by the Cardinals, but still, Julio Urias, these are names to look out for. Obviously, been around for the Dodgers. This is the most consistent squad in MLB, and it's been like that. Pittsburgh Pirates still leading the NL Central. Great for them right there. St. Louis Cardinals go off to a rough start. Brewers aren't great right now, and obviously the Cubs are struggling. So Pirates take advantage of the opportunity without O'Neal Cruz. They've been playing great. Brian Reynolds. This is the year of the team of the low payroll doing great. Tampa Bay Rays, Baltimore Orioles, Pittsburgh Pirates. Those teams are low in the payroll in MLB, and they're doing great. Top of the standings. Pete Alonso, we already talked about him, how he's playing great. 17 homers in the season, I want to say. Now, this is the only bad thing to say about Pete Alonso, because his rookie season, he hit 51 home runs, but he batted .247. He had a lot of home runs that year, but not as many hits outside of home runs. Now, the next few years, he was great. He had 280 average, about 45 home runs, and that's perfect. This season, only 38 hits, but 17 home runs. So that average, not so great. Pete Alonso, let's see if he can keep up that average a little bit outside of just hitting home runs. Another guy smashing home runs. Rookie for the Cubs, Christopher Morel, played about 10 games this year, 9 home runs, on pace to have about 100 home runs this season. Not going to happen, but still, amazing steer right there out of Christopher Morel. Good spark for the Chicago Cubs. Let's end the headlines right here, talking a little bit of soccer. Man City winning Champions League semifinal on Wednesday against Real Madrid, and then winning Premier League on Saturday after Arsenal lost to Nottingham Forest. So that's great right there. Man City, top of the standings in Premier League for the third straight Premier League title. Erling Haaland looking like one of the best soccer players in the world right now, if not the best. Kevin De Bruyne amazing, and hopefully they can win the Champions League final in Istanbul next month. That's about for headlines this week. Leave thoughts in the comments. Now, take of the week. This week's take of the week is about the king, LeBron James, and what he should do for the rest of his career. Obviously, getting swept was not in his plans in the Western Conference Finals, but still, great season, great career, obviously, for LeBron, trying to be the GOAT. Still things to look out for. Does he get that 5th ring? Looking a little bit unlikely right now. Obviously, rumors of retirement. I think LeBron retires for one full season. Goes and watches Bronny at USC. Come with the plan of saying, hey, I'm going to retire for this one season, and then I'm going to come back next year, sign with any NBA team, maybe with the Lakers. Doesn't have to be with Bronny, as long as I'm just in the NBA at the same time as Bronny. So, I mean, for Bronny James, I think he should stay at USC for more than 1 year. I think he should be more developed than just 1 year at USC. But say he goes one and done. Say he's a good year at USC, goes one and done. LeBron goes back to the NBA. That's perfect plan right there. I don't know if it's with the Lakers. I don't know if it's with any team that drafts Bronny. But I think LeBron needs 1 year off the NBA, 1 year off of just full-on 82-game season for LeBron. Even if he's not playing all 82 games, that's still rough on the body. We've seen Tom Brady do some things like this, obviously coming out of retirement, come back out of retirement, all that stuff, but he never took a full season off. And we haven't really seen somebody take a full year off with the intention of coming back next year. But if anybody were to do it, it would be LeBron James. I think that's what's happening right here. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. That's about for Take of the Week. Now, Schoolyard Sports fans, I got a great one for you. I got an interview with Super Bowl winning head coach Andy Reid of the Kansas City Chiefs. He talks all things Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, obviously win Super Bowls, eating cheeseburgers, all that. Stay tuned right now for the upcoming Andy Reid in-person interview out in Las Vegas. All of it was kind of spontaneous. You've seen it on the Instagram, teasing it. Now you get to watch the full Andy Reid interview. Let's hop into it. All right, Schoolyard Sports fans out here in Las Vegas with obviously one of the best NFL coaches of all time, Andy Reid. Coach Reid, thanks for sitting down.
Absolutely, Lane. You bet.
Of course.
Great to be here.
Yeah, great to see you. So after that second Super Bowl win, was that just the greatest moment, or was the first one a little bit more exciting?
Yeah, the first one was it was crazy. It was chaotic. It was fast. Everything happening like in a split second. The second one was I was a little more relaxed and kind of understood where to go and what to do and how to do it, and I enjoyed it more.
When you kind of got Patrick Mahomes, everyone thought, oh, he's different than everybody else. He got the biggest cannon, but he can be a loose cannon at times. Did you see right away, oh, he's going to be different. He's going to be Hall of Famer.
Yeah, so I give all the credit to Brett Veach on that, our general manager. Brett saw him early in his career at Texas Tech and said, he came back and goes, hey, this is like the best quarterback I've ever seen. And so he kept putting tapes on my desk and Dorsey's desk, and we looked at him, and both of us had been at Green Bay with Brett Favre, and so we saw some similarities there. Different guys, but we saw similarities in their play, and so by the time we got him, I felt like I knew him. I'd seen all these games, and then we interviewed him as one of our top 30 guys, and spent a bunch of time with him. I go, man, this kid is sharp, and even though he said he cheated on it, but he got the answers to the test. But you know what? He is a sharp kid, and he's great. I was telling you, he's great for young guys because, okay, he's got the God-gifted ability, but he works so hard at the skill, and day in, day out. I mean, he got done with winning a Super Bowl. He's back at it the next week, working his fundamentals and working the ankle, making sure that was back right, and so dedicated to the game.
You've had so many coaches work under you. Is it kind of like a surreal moment when you get to go be and say Doug Pierce in the playoffs, or maybe another assistant as a head coach? Is that kind of surreal moment?
Yeah, it's crazy that way. I mean, I'm playing in the Super Bowl. I'm looking across, and here's Howie Roseman, who was my general manager when I was there, working with him, gave him an opportunity to do that, and he jumped in and he's done a phenomenal job. Doug Peterson, Matt Nagy's now back on my staff, but he was the coach of the year his first year. So I mean, listen, we've got guys all over the place, and it's a tribute to how hard these guys work and taking advantage of these great opportunities. Hard to get these jobs in the National Football League, so they got in there and did a great job.
All right, last question I got for you right here. Who's been the toughest defender in your whole entire career just to game plan against?
Yeah, well, you probably go to Bill Belichick. I mean, he's a mastermind as a defensive coordinator and head coach. I mean, but defensively, there's nobody been better than that. He's tremendous.
I mean, I talked to Ray Lewis 2 months ago. He told me that he thinks he's the greatest defender of all time. Do you agree with that?
I tell you, he was phenomenal. He was also my team captain for one of the Pro Bowls, and he wasn't coaching. He wasn't playing. He was coaching, and he would have been a phenomenal coach if he decided to go that way. But I love him. Super smart, man.
Of course, great conversation. Thank you.
Appreciate you, man. Yeah, thank you.
Obviously, that was a great interview with Andy Reid, Chiefs head coach. Obviously, thank you to Coach Reid for doing that interview, taking the time out of his day, meet me in Las Vegas, do that interview for Schoolyard Sports. You're going to find the best content here at Schoolyard Sports, only going up from here, getting great guests, getting great interviews, getting great content out there. Follow Schoolyard Sports on all platforms at Schoolyard Sports. If you want to see more things like this, stay tuned. Now, did you know? I teased Did You Know in the headlines, saying it was about Carmelo Anthony, but this week's Did You Know is, did you know Carmelo Anthony, on his time in the New York Knicks in 2013, is the only player ever to have a 50-point game with 0 points in the paint? Let me say that again. Carmelo Anthony, 2013, on the New York Knicks, had a 50-point game. In that 50-point game, he had 0 points in the paint. He's the only player in NBA history to have 50 points with 0 points in the paint. Didn't know that? Leave that in the comment section. That's a great Did You Know for you. Now, Shohei Ohtani Spotlight airplay. I kind of teased it on the Schoolyard Sports Instagram. I tweeted on Schoolyard Sports Twitter on Saturday saying, what would a deal for Shohei Ohtani look like? Because it's not out of the realm possibility that he does get traded this season. And he is the biggest anomaly we've ever seen in the sport of baseball. So follow Schoolyard Sports on Instagram at Schoolyard Sports. And we've seen that. But still, Shohei Ohtani can be the best hitter and the best pitcher in baseball. He can go 8 innings, 0 runs, and then hit 2 home runs in that same game. So Shohei Ohtani could dominate the mound, and he could dominate the batter's box. So I think a trade for Shohei Ohtani, you would have to give up a lot of people. And you're saying the New York Mets, a team that can afford a trade for Shohei Ohtani, would you give up? Because right now what's propelling the Mets are the baby Mets. Mark Vientos, Brett Beatty, Francisco Alvarez. Would you give up all those players for Shohei Ohtani? I would say yes. And I think it would cost a little bit more than that. I think you'd have to trade all those players, maybe a few more prospects, and maybe a Jeff McNeil in there. Same for the Atlanta Braves. You would have to give up probably an Austin Riley, or Ronald Acuna Jr., and maybe even an Ozzie Albies for Shohei Ohtani, because he's that type of player. It's worth it. You want to have the best hitter and best pitcher in baseball? You go for Shohei Ohtani. He's in his prime right now, and he's going to be the best player in baseball for the next 10 years. That's my opinion. But Shohei Ohtani, best player in baseball right now, best player in baseball for the next 10 years. Aaron Judge isn't going to play every game. Shohei Ohtani isn't going to play every game either, but he can pitch and he can hit. He can do both, and at times he can be the best at both in the whole entire sport. So that's no debate for me right there. A Shohei Ohtani trade would be the most compensated trade in maybe MLB history. That's why I think a Shohei Ohtani free agent deal could be the biggest in sports history. That's my Shohei Ohtani Spotlight. Leave thoughts in the comment section. What do you think a trade for Shohei Ohtani, baseball's best player, would look like? Victor Wembanyama is going to go number 1 this year's NBA draft. We all know that. But NBA draft lottery was last Tuesday. We didn't get to talk about it because obviously we record on Tuesdays, release on Thursdays. But NBA draft lottery was on Tuesday night, and San Antonio Spurs won out NBA draft lottery. And everybody's going crazy saying, it's amazing. Spurs, they had David Robinson, they had Tim Duncan. Now they have Victor Wembanyama. Only difference is Victor Wembanyama isn't going to have Greg Popovich for more than 3 years. It's not the perfect solution, in my opinion. He might have been better off going to a Detroit type of team where it has great talent, where they have Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren already, and then Victor Wembanyama in there. That's a playoff squad. San Antonio Spurs, they're a bunch of mid, you could say. Devin Vassell, not great. Trey Jones, not great. Kellen Johnson, not great. You want these guys to build around Victor Wembanyama? Because Victor Wembanyama is not going to tank. So if he is a San Antonio Spur for his whole entire career, do we know he's going to win a championship? Because I don't know right there. Victor Wembanyama, is he a guy who can lead you to a championship? It's my GM hat, everybody. Victor Wembanyama, NBA's most interesting man for years to come, like Shohei Ohtani in baseball. But Victor Wembanyama, amazing at all facets of the game. Can shoot, can dribble, can pass, whatever you need him to do, rebound, defend. I think he's going to be the best player in the NBA. Maybe 15 years it might be in his career, but Victor Wembanyama is the most valuable player for years to come in the NBA. So you need to set this up right. That's why I think San Antonio Spurs, not the perfect idea, because you don't really have a replacement for Greg Popovich set in. For Detroit Pistons, you might get a good coach this offseason. For Houston Rockets, you already have good coach Ime Udoka. So I think that might have been a better situation for him. Not knocking the Spurs, saying that he's not going to win a championship there, but I'm just saying, is it the perfect solution? Because in San Antonio, Tim Duncan had Tony Parker. He had Manu Ginobili, and he had a fully in his prime Greg Popovich. David Robinson, same thing. So for Victor Wembanyama, does he get that? Does he get that championship in his career? Because right now at San Antonio Spurs, I'm not seeing it. And this is I'm not me saying Victor Wembanyama is going to be amazing on the Spurs because he hasn't even been drafted by them yet. What if they don't draft him? What if they go for Scoot Henderson? Not out of the realm of possibility. That's back for my GM hat this week. Leave thoughts in the comments. Now, let's take a look back about 2 episodes ago where I said Nikola Jokic wasn't an elite NBA winner, scorer. He wasn't going to be that amazing winner in the NBA. I said wasn't a clutch player in his career because he doesn't hit game winners. Well, he hit a game winner in Game 4 against the Lakers. I said he doesn't have what it takes to make the NBA Finals. Well, he made the NBA Finals. I said he doesn't have it in him to win like that. Well, he made it. Nikola Jokic, before the season, he hadn't made the Western Conference Finals since the bubble, and he wasn't even that great in the bubble. Nikola Jokic got drafted during a Taco Bell commercial in the second round. All those NBA teams regret not drafting Nikola Jokic. Kind of a recurring theme. All those NBA teams didn't want to draft Giannis Antetokounmpo. They regret it. You don't always see top European players go number 1. I think we're seeing that now with Victor Wembanyama, where they're saying, we see Giannis, we see Nikola Jokic, let's take Victor Wembanyama at number 1. Let's rank him highly, because we see these guys, these freaks, Nikola Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo, who can do everything in the court. Maybe we put that into a guy like Victor Wembanyama. Nikola Jokic used to look like this. Very unathletic, not a good basketball player, used to drink 12 Cokes a day after practice, and now he's the best player in the NBA. Maybe the most talented or just skilled player of all time, because Nikola Jokic doesn't have that athleticism where he's going to do a 360 dunk through legs, jump out of the building. He says it himself. All-Star game isn't built for a guy like me. But skills challenge, that's built for a guy like Nikola Jokic. He doesn't have the speed, but he can pass it perfectly, he can shoot it perfectly, rebound it perfectly, take off the dribble. Most skilled offensive player I've ever seen. Maybe the most skilled player I've ever seen. Not talent, skill. That's what Nikola Jokic is. That's why he's amazing. I'm blaming this on myself. I was wrong. Nikola Jokic has all the skill. He's amazing. Look back. That's why he gets the honor to wear the shirt this episode. Nikola Jokic, amazing. That's powerful look back this week. Now, let's finish out episode 125 strong, a little at the buzzer. My favorite tennis player of all time, Rafael Nadal, greatest lefty of all time. Obviously, I'm a lefty. I play tennis. Drew out of the French Open this week, Roland Garros, and he's the king of clay, king of Roland Garros, won it about 13 times, and nobody can really beat him when he's in the draw, fully healthy. So, it's opening up for other players, but it's also opening the end for Rafael Nadal's career. And this is kind of the end of that big 3, because right now, he's tied for Grand Slams with Djokovic and Roger Federer. Roger Federer is retired. Djokovic still going, probably for another 5 years, you could say. Rafael Nadal looking like his end. So Djokovic, with all said and done, could be the GOAT, but I think it might be Rafael Nadal. Rafael Nadal obviously been amazing his whole entire career, and this kind of a shadow of it, saying he's probably not going to win another Grand Slam again, and that's sad to hear right there. Rafael Nadal never really had amazing success at Wimbledon, only 2 Wimbledon titles, and then Djokovic, about 7 Wimbledon titles, 4 straight. Roger Federer, 5 straight Wimbledon titles, about 8 in total. So these guys, amazing at their own thing. They were great in grass. Nadal is obviously great on hard court. Clay, but Clay, king of clay. I mean, Rafael Nadal and Clay, maybe one of the most dominant athletes of all time, any sport. That's just saying it right there. Rafael Nadal and Clay is unbeatable, and a lot of people can attest to that. So it's sad to see a legend of the sport, a lot of legends in sports retiring in the next 3 years. LeBron, Tom Brady, Rafael Nadal, Roger Federer, more guys to retire soon to me. Messi, Ronaldo. Sports around the world maybe getting a little bit worse. These legends retiring. That's just a little at the buzzer right there for you. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Now, question of the day. This week's question of the day is, who is that next guy in sports you see that's going to be a legend? We talked about it, not the buzzer, saying that sports getting a little bit worse around the world because we see these legends retiring. But each sport has a new legend to come. I think for soccer, you could say it's Kylian Mbappe or Erling Haaland, both in their very young 20s. Mbappe 23, Haaland 21. For tennis, Carlos Alcaraz, only 20 years old, turned 20 last week. Already has a Grand Slam at age 19 at the U.S. Open. So that's amazing. He could be next GOAT of tennis. Mbappe, next GOAT of soccer. Wembanyama, you could say basketball. Shohei Ohtani for MLB. And then you see some guys in football. Maybe Trevor Lawrence, maybe somebody else, maybe Joe Burrow, maybe Justin Herbert. These are guys to look out for. So who's that guy in sports that you say is going to be a legend, even though we're not seeing it right now? That's part of question day this week. That's part of Schoolyard Sports, Lane Frank, episode 125. Thank you for tuning in. Follow Schoolyard Sports on Instagram at Schoolyard Sports for awesome sports news, content updates. Follow Schoolyard Sports on Twitter at Schoolyard Sport for awesome takes. Follow Schoolyard Sports on TikTok at Schoolyard Sports for more content. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, review for the best sports content in the world. We'll be back next week, episode 126. Stay tuned.